Good morning, church. Welcome to another daily encouragement for us in this lockdown season. Today, as I've been in my daily devotional again in the Gospel of Luke, I was struck by this account of the hemorrhaging woman touching the cloak of Jesus Christ. Just going to read from Luke 8, verses 42 to 48. While he was going, the crowds nearly crushed him. A woman suffering from bleeding for 12 years, who had spent all she had on doctors and yet could not be healed by any, approached him from behind and touched the end of his robe. Instantly, her bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When they all denied it, Peter said, "Master, the crowds are hemming you in and pressing against you." "Someone did touch me," said Jesus. "I know that power has gone out from me." When the woman saw that she was discovered, she came trembling and fell down before him. In the presence of all the people, she declared the reason she had touched him and how she was instantly healed. "Daughter," he said to her, "your faith has saved you. Go in peace." There are two things that really struck me in this passage. The first is that it was her faith that healed her, not the fact that she touched Jesus. You see, there were many people that were touching Jesus. The disciple Peter says this. Jesus said, everyone's pressing in on you, everyone crushing in on you. Yet one person we read got healed. The woman who had faith to touch the hem of his garment from behind. Probability wise, many people in the crowd perhaps had an illness, perhaps they had a cold, perhaps they had stubbed their toe and an ingrown toenail, whatever. Many people in a crowd who had pressed against him perhaps were sick in some degree or another, yet we don't read anyone else got healed by touching her. We read that it was by faith that she was healed. Often we feel like we don't have enough faith. Perhaps you feel like that in this season that you're in. Perhaps you're feeling particularly low or particularly distant, or you feel like you're going through a desert place and you feel like you don't have enough faith. God, if only you'd give me more faith, then I would pray to you. If only you'd give me more faith, then I would read the Bible. If only you'd give me more faith, I would speak to my neighbors. I promise, just give me more faith. Now, the apostles asked Jesus for more faith in Luke 17, verse 5. And he said, "I tell you, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, pull yourself up by the roots and plant yourself in the sea, and it would obey you." What's Jesus' point? The faith that you have, no matter how small it is powerful and effective when coming to God in prayer. Why? Because God has given you your faith. And what he has given you is powerful. And what he has given you is effective for what he is calling you to do in this season and at this time. Secondly, what I find really striking in this is in verse 45. Instantly her bleeding has stopped, yet Jesus says, "Who touched me?" As we've read, many people were touching him, but he'd noticed that power had gone out of him, and he stops to find out who touched him. Why? Is he frustrated? He's on the way to raise Jairus' daughter from the dead. Is he feeling like he's impeding in his mission and therefore she needs to answer for herself? I mean, he knows, God knows everything. He knows who touched her, but he stops. Why? Is he angry? He's lost some of the power. Has it been stolen from him? Did he need that power to raise Jairus' daughter from the dead? No. What's going on here? Well, Jesus knew who touched him. Like all the other rhetorical questions from God, what he's trying to do is draw her into relationship with him. Jesus was happy that she got healed by faith, I'm sure. But what he wanted was much more for her than physical healing, much more than a transactional relationship. I touch you, Jesus, you heal me. No, he wanted her to know relationship with the true and living God. He was happy to be delayed in his mission so that he could reach out to this dear daughter of God. That's how he speaks of her in loving, affectionate terms. She is a daughter of God. God didn't want her just to be healed. He wanted her to be saved, to know salvation, to know peace and reconciliation with God, to know an eternity living free, ultimately over every sin and sickness and burden in heaven. So this morning, reach out with the faith that you have got, no matter how small it is, because God has given you that faith. And it is enough for you in this season because of the greatness of the God that we plug into. So plug into God, bring your weaknesses, bring your sicknesses, bring the things that you're struggling with to God in prayer today. He is waiting for you and he longs for a deeper relationship with you. I hope that's encouraged you, and I'll see you again soon.